Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth, and on this channel, we work on building our spiritual confidence so we can listen to our intuition and read our tarot cards with ease. And today, we are going to be talking about the Eight of Swords. We're going to be looking at the astrology, the numerology, the Kabbalah, the elements, the colors, the image as drawn by Pamela Coleman Smith. And we are going to be really taking a deep dive in understanding the meaning of this card from the bottom up. So if you're wanting to connect with your tarot deck, if you really want to understand the Eight of Swords at a deeper level so that you can build your spiritual confidence and listen to your intuition when you see this card in a spread, then stick with me. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you this card at a much, much deeper level, more so than just talking about the meaning. So I hope you'll join me. I'll see you in a minute. Card number 8, Golden Dawn title, and again, we're doing all the Golden Dawn symbolism, the Lord of Shortened Force. So let's have a look at this card. This is the Eight of Swords, and I think we might look at the numerology first because I find that really helpful to sort of orientate into the card as I'm speaking. So 8 in numerology is balance and power. If we think about the numbers that 8 is made up of, it is 2 by 2, which makes 4. So balance of opposites by 2, which makes reliability and stability. And then 4 by 4, which makes 8. So you are compounding balance and this idea of reliability, of stability into a personal power that becomes balance and power in the 8. I hope that makes sense. And when we come to study numerology, and we will, I've got lots of cheat sheets for numerology, and I've got some more cheat sheets for you when I do my Tarot for Beginners course, which is coming really soon, like in the next couple of weeks when I launch that course. And it'll be the same model as all my courses where there's free videos, and then if you choose to buy the written materials that go with the course, you can. We will look at numerology again in a little bit more detail, and I'll be showing you some things to do with the tarot as well, because of course that's my first love. But I'm really starting to think we need a course on numerology because it is fascinating, so fascinating. And there's so many things that you can do with numerology, both for reading for yourself and reading for your clients, which is great fun, especially if you do. I love written readings. I really like doing written readings. And I have a template in my Etsy shop that gives you a template on how to do a written reading, but I want to do some more with that, I think, because it fascinates me. So 8, let's get back on track. 8 of Swords. These sheets, by the way, are available in my Etsy shop. These are my notes. This is my at a glance cheat sheets, and then I've got a worksheet for you as well. And these come in a big bundle that you can purchase from my Etsy shop. They're very well priced, and you have them there if you want to go through the videos and follow through on the cheat sheet. I sometimes remember to talk about things and sometimes I don't, just depends. So if you want the actual lowdown of all the study I did, here are the cheat sheets. I'll make sure there is a comment with a link in the description box and also in the first comment for you to find, to go and have a look. And while we're doing housekeeping, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notifications bell. It does so help my channel, and it makes sure you don't miss out on all my uploads. I know I say it all the time, but if I don't say it, you don't do it. That's why all the YouTubers remind you to do that. And of course, if you'd like to be part of my community where I have lots of freebies to help you learn the tarot, go to connectwithyourdeck.com/newsletter to join my newsletter. And I have since set up my newsletter. I'm now able to set it up so that you can choose which emails you want to receive from me. And the way I'm setting things up, I've actually gone back and redesigned everything. The way I've set it up, I've got all of these lists all set up quite differently. So you can pick and choose what emails you want to receive from me without having to completely leave my newsletter list, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so 8 of Swords. This is about taking back your power. So if we're thinking of balance and power, here she is. She's bound up. She's got a blindfold on, but her feet aren't tied. And really, those bindings are not very tight. In fact, they look like a bit of a bandage just wrapped around, as if she's hurt or damaged, or somehow she's in pain somehow. And she can just rip that all off and walk away. So it's a little bit like the Devil card, actually, that's coming into my mind now, which is not really related to this card in terms of numerology, but it's the same idea with the Adam and Eve, and they can just pull their chains off and take their power back anytime they like. But in this case, rather than there being some sort of unconscious, devil unconscious holding you back, to me, this is really about looking at your life in general and how you take your power back, what you might do in your life, what thoughts you might have to take your power back. Decisive action. So wands come first. Decisive action, balanced, beautifully balanced javelins all moving together like an octave, ready to hit the ground with decisive action, balanced power. Taking your emotional power back, walking away. And of course, the power of being methodical, taking your time. Look what you can achieve if you pay attention to the detail and you don't rush. So here are the 8s. Wands, Cups, Swords, Pentacles. And let's look at the Major Arcana. So the classic card, 8, balanced power, the Strength card. Again, I've done a video on this card in this series. So if you start at the beginning at the Fool, well, actually at the introduction, and then you watch the Fool card and work your way through, you will come to my description of the Strength card. And I talk a lot about the meaning of the controlled power within that card. Then there's the Star card, the balance between unconscious and conscious, 1 foot in the universal pool and 1 foot on land. Unconscious and conscious, the balance of each phase of power. And that card also has quite a detailed video to watch. So if we have a look at this card, let's have a look. We've looked at the numerology and how it sits in the deck. Let's have a look at the Kabbalah. So where does 8 of Swords sit? In fact, where do all the minor arcana 8s sit? And they sit on the Seraphot of Splendor. Now, when my Tarot for Beginners course comes out, I've got some more detail on how these cards sit onto the Tree of Life and a lot more detail about them for you to learn. And again, the course will be in the same process, in that there will be a series of videos for you to watch, and then there will be a workbook that you can purchase that gives you more detail. That's how I like to work. That's how we roll here. So it means everybody can be involved, because I know there's people out there, and I just so appreciate you, because you watch all my videos and you watch all the advertising and you do all of that, but maybe you're not quite in a financial position to pay a whole lot of money for a course. So that's how I like to work, and I appreciate everything that everybody does to support me so that I can continue to teach. So the Tree of Life, the Seraphot, is emanating energy. The 4 8s of the minor arcana sit on there. It is known as Hod or Splendor. And Splendor is an energy of the individuality of your mind. Again, Swords, which is the thinking arcana. You're learning science, magic, and ritual. You have contact with spiritual masters, and you communicate your vision. So this is a card. This is a Seraphot about spiritual growth. And what does spiritual growth give us? It gives us balance within ourselves. It brings us back into equilibrium so we can live our best life. It creates our balance and our power. The classical element for this card is air, intelligence, creativity, beginnings, and we know that in astrology, the swords cards govern all of the air signs. That's why they're classic element air. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if we look at, now this is a breakdown of this, which is all the tarot cards on the astrological wheel. Don't try and build this yourself. Please buy mine. It took me hours to do it. It was really hard to get everything to sit right. And this just shows you how the Golden Dawn put all of the cards onto the astrological wheel. So if we look at Eight of Swords, we will find it over here. Let me just have a look and find it. I'm going round and round and round and round and round. I can't see. Where are we? Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Why can't I see it? Here we are, down here. So we're looking at Gemini as a sign. And we are here in the first decan of Gemini. And decans, for those of you who are watching this video for the first time, for those of you who've been following through, you'll remember what decans are. They are 30-degree segments of each astrological sign, and they were devised by astrologers to help them describe sort of finer details in personality in each of the signs, so that you haven't just got one big lump of dates. So they're here in the first, I can speak in a minute. Eight of Swords is here in the first decan. If we look at the dates, and again, this is just a cheat sheet with all the dates on, and we look for the Eight of Swords up here, we are in the first decan of Gemini here, and we are sub-ruler Jupiter, and our dates are 21st of May to 31st of May. So if we look here on my cheat sheet, we can see that Jupiter is in Gemini. So our keywords are uninspired, self-reliant, and active. So Jupiter, of course, is a planet of ideas and expansion. And when it's present in Gemini, it's a card of togetherness and intellectual thinking. The presence of Jupiter does not give Gemini peace of mind, and instead creates confusion with too many options and too many ideas. You are trapped in your own confusion. So how do you take back your power? You can't see the forest for the trees. You need to slow down and just take time to recognize what it is that you need to do. The Eight of Swords shows what happens when there's too many options and your only way out is to reassess the situation and take back your power. So let's have a look at the symbolism in this card. So she's all tied up. We've talked about that, and she could walk away at any time. The swords are forming a barrier, and they represent, and of course swords, as we know, represent intellect. And it's as if this person's being bound up and restricted by their thinking. So they need to actively take back their power. The mountains in the background, we know, generally represent spiritual journeys or overcoming difficulties. And the isolated castle away from everything represents this idea of cutting yourself off away from the world Again, we know grey sky is confusion, and we know that she's currently in confusion, and it's going to be hard for her to actually work her way through it. The water and mud at her feet represent conscious and unconscious mind. If we think about this card, you can see here, this is a beautiful example of it. You've got conscious, she's kneeling on the earth, which represents being grounded and conscious, and then 1 foot in the pool of the universal energy, or the unconscious, or the emotion. So you can see here, it's a classic symbol that goes all the way through the tarot. So she has 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water, and this represents that she's basically in despair. She doesn't know which way to go, and to step through it, she's got sort of a mix of both conscious and unconscious that she's going to have to move through. The red clothing symbolizes passion and what this person's passionately denying because they're bound up. So this is really, I love this card. The more I look at it, the meaning is just so deep. So this is about taking back your personal power and recognizing that swords are a card of thinking. So this is even recognizing that perhaps you are being held hostage by your own thoughts. If you loved my video and you got something from it, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, join my community, connect with yourdeck.com/newsletter. We would love to have you. And I will see you in the next video where we will be talking about the 9 of Swords. So I will see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.